You're listening to Griff's Lonely Dollar Lectures. Shabba! And they're off, yep. Off the first bend, it's lecture 7. Very slowly away. Hiya. How are we all doing? Happy Monday. It's lecture 7, I believe. My name's Griff Richards, the CEO of Lonely Dollar Lectures. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks a lot. I wonder how many people have heard all of the lectures. That would be interesting, for me anyway. Strange business being a semi-professional lecturer, as I'm realising. Did want to record this last night. I actually did make a start. It's Monday morning now, so you'll be hearing this on the same day, hopefully. I did make a start last night, but students next door decided to have a bit of a shindig. Woke up my daughter, abandoned lecture, had to get her back to sleep. Looked out the back window and said, "Can you keep that fucking noise down? Got kids in here trying to sleep." And in fairness to them, didn't hear a peep out of them. They probably think I'm a lot harder than I am. But hence, for the first time in the history of the lectures, I'm recording it on Monday morning. Marvellous. Marvellous. Really interesting stuff, as I'm sure you'll agree. How are you lot anyway? That's the main thing. It's Welsh. I don't know the actual name for it. I'm sure I should, but it's Welsh. It's like the Welsh Valentine's Day today. We have like a Welsh one, as well as the normal one. Gives us double the opportunity to either feel lonely or realise that we're in pointless relationships. Although, don't get me wrong, there are people happy out there, apparently. Those were the days. Right, I won't go into that too deeply. What have I been doing this week? The search for work continues. Nobody's knocked the door yet and said, "Griff, do you want a job?" So, no luck there. Heard nothing from the Zon, which may be a good thing. Who knows? But, funny old week. What have I been doing this week that I can actually discuss in a public forum? So a good programme last Sunday, I believe. I wanted to watch the final of the snooker, but by the time Sunday evening came around, Ronnie O'Sullivan had already won. So they showed a documentary instead about Alex Higgins, who a lot of time for the old hurricane. And what I picked up from that documentary is that Higgins was more interested in being himself than he was in being successful. Maybe subconsciously, I don't know. And I got a lot of time for people like that, who will put being themselves before success. It's a bit like I do with these lectures. It'd be the easiest thing in the world, for me to rack up 1 million people a week listening, just by doing what's expected. But I sacrificed that success by being myself, which the Hardcore 100, I'm sure you all appreciate. It was a very, very interesting documentary, though, about Higgins. Interesting time in the snooker world then. Not quite the same now. It's a little bit boring now. You rarely get snooker players headbutting officials anymore. I don't know what's happened to the game. But yeah, the late great Higgins. A lot of deaths going on at the moment. I don't know if there always is. I'm just more aware of it, but seems to be a sort of a lot of people from the music industry around about the 60 or 70 years of age mark popping their clogs. I think I mentioned it last week. There's a few more gone this week. guy for the Eagles and all that, and whoever else, they've all died. And yeah, we're all going one day, so I won't worry too much about that. Great win for the Swans yesterday. That's been the main thing going on in my superficial life. Beat Everton away 2-1. We got a new manager. We're up to 15th in the league. A couple of weeks ago, we looked like it all gone wrong. I'm still not happy about them sacking Gary Monk. As I said at the time, just need to get rid of about 4 or 5 players. Shelby's gone. He obviously had become a bit of a disruptive influence, as much as I did like him, potentially world class if he sorted his head out, but pretty sure it's never going to happen. Hopefully Newcastle will go down this year, and we need to get rid of Gomez as well. He didn't play yesterday because his wife was having a baby. Apparently the baby was born 2 yards offside. But, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? And I was suggesting on some form of social media last night that hopefully we can arrange for Gomez's wife to have a kid every weekend. Because there were several players letting the team down, I think we need to get rid of Key as well. I don't know his full name. We just call him Key, a South Korean. He's gone down in my estimations as well. I think during the end of the Monk era, a lot of the players decided we don't want this manager anymore, so we're just going to make sure we get him out of here. I've done the same before with team leaders, in call centres. So all you got to do is sit there for a week, get the whole team not to sell anything, and then they get shot at the team leader. Brilliant. Not suggesting it's a good thing to do, but it is true. You had a few rumours. I'm not one to gossip, so if I hear some gossip, what I will do is quickly put it in the lectures out there, so then I don't have to gossip about it anymore, because everybody knows. I was given the opportunity at the end of last year to go to India to make a TV programme, I suppose you could call it the 3rd series of the call centre. Although it's not on BBC, it's going to be on Watch TV. Couldn't agree terms with Sir Neville Wilshire. There's a few reasons that I couldn't go, but since they've come back, I'm hearing a few rumours, which I find quite amusing. Now, as I've mentioned, a long time ago, these are fictional lectures, so anything I say is purely fictional from a legal standpoint. But Dwayne, you may know Dwayne, he went to India, and Johnny Allen, and Haley, I believe. I don't know if any others made it. But one of the reasons I didn't want to go is I was a bit concerned about not being paid properly. Firstly, I was concerned that I wasn't offered the amount I felt I was worth to do it. And it was all in a sort of you get this then, this then, this then, there's nothing up front, nothing concrete. And I've since learned that Dwayne, who left his job to rejoin Nev to go to India, was allegedly on some sort of 2-year contract with Nev. And then they got back from India, and then he fucked him off. And I think he's still waiting to be paid, which I found quite amusing. When somebody said to me, "Gosh, it's the chance of a lifetime to go to India, make a TV programme, blah, 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 free holiday." And as I said at the time, it was the chance of a lifetime to go and sail on the fucking Titanic as well. And we all know what happened there. But, something that people don't actually realise a lot of the time. Not everybody who was on the Titanic died. So it wasn't such a disaster for some. Probably the most interesting thing they ever had to talk about, if ever they went for a job with an agency and they said, tell us 3 interesting things about yourself. I was a survivor on the Titanic. It's a talking point, isn't it? Conversational point. But this program, Nev Calling India, it's going to be on TV soon, and I'm going to have mixed feelings when it's on. It's a very strange feeling it is when you're waiting for something that you've filmed to go on TV, when you have no idea of what's going to be shown. Very interesting. So I'm going to sort of miss that aspect of it, you know. And obviously the public are going to miss out because I'm not going to be in it. The TV company are going to miss out because their program is going to be 4% as good as it would have been if I was in it. And I'm going to miss out because I would have probably been offered my own show off the back of it. Still baffled that, you know, after the call centre, the TV companies didn't come rushing to snap me up. Did have a few meetings. Nothing came of it. I don't know. Well, I'm the bad boy of reality TV, am I? You see these there's some people, right? You know, don't get me wrong. I was fully aware I was just some retard on a retarded program. You know, I'm not unaware of all that. But there are similar retards from similar retarded programs who have made an absolute fucking fortune off the back of it. People have said to me, oh, you should, you know, people have always said to me since before the call centre, you should go on Big Brother, you'd be really funny. And then since the call centre, I've had people saying to me, oh, you should go on Celebrity Big Brother. And it's like, yeah, but you need to be like a celebrity. But apparently you don't, because I watched it a couple of years ago, and it was one of the guys from Gogglebox on it. Which made me think, oh, right, yeah, so that's what a celebrity means, is it? A celebrity these days is somebody who's been on TV, and with there being about 1 million channels, and they'll make a program about absolutely fucking everything, there's a lot more fucking celebrities about than there ever used to be. Now, I think, right, I've always said this, and I believe that one day everybody will have 15 minutes of fame. Said that for a long time. People keep attributing it to somebody else, but I've said that for a long time. 15 minutes of fame. It's weird being. I tell you what I thought, right, when the call centre was on, and when I was first walking down the street and sort of getting recognised and things like that, it made me think, this is what it must be like to be a very attractive woman. You know, when you walk down the street and people look at you, and people, you know, people look at you and people try talking to you and there's no real reason for it. Or people, you know, you catch people out of the corner of your eye looking at you. It must be what it must be like to be a smart bird. Because very popular amongst the scaffolders I was, by all accounts. And a lot of the building trade. Because the one thing I will say about that programme is that I did act myself. And I've had quite a nice response from anybody I've ever had to speak to about it. You know, members of the public, etc. A guy came up to me once. This was the nicest comment I think I can remember hearing on the back of the programme. But this guy came up to me once. I was around the corner from my house with my daughter, and 2 chaps come up to me, looked like students. And one of them said, oh, are you Griff? And I said, yeah. He said, oh, I saw you on that programme. He said, I watched that programme with my mother. He said, she thought you were hilarious. And he said, I've never seen my mother laugh so much in her life as when she was watching you on that programme. And I thought, what a lovely comment. You know, imagine that guy would have known his mum for all of his life. And for that to be the memory he's got of his mum laughing the most, I don't know why that touched me a bit, you know. I'll probably be asked to speak at a funeral, one would imagine, in years to come. Yeah, but, you know, my brief sort of foray into the television industry, it doesn't take long to realise that it's an absolutely full of shit fucking business. Very strange business on the sort of level that I'm talking about anyway. You know, as I've mentioned before, it was a WAFTA award-winning programme. But, I don't know, very strange, you know, to be in your sort of mid-40s, end up on some random TV programme, and then you're walking down the street getting recognised by strangers. Very weird. Part of me liked it, I'm not going to lie, and part of me hated it. I remember once, a few years ago, when it was on, I was smoking a lot of weed at the time, and I'd been to my mate's house, got stoned as fuck, and I left his house, and was walking home, and then started getting recognised, and I'd completely forgotten I was famous, and I went into a bit of a panic. I thought, oh my God, I can't walk through town now, random strangers wanting to talk and all that business, when I was having a bit of a whitey. And I had to flag down a taxi and be rushed home to the safety of my my unit. Very strange business. Yeah, but the Swans, great win yesterday. First time we've ever beaten Everton, apparently. In the league, anyway. Maybe in anything. I'm not entirely sure. It's good to see a bit of effort. That's all you ask for, innit? That's all you ask for from your football team. Is a bit of fucking effort. You know, could you imagine earning 50 grand a week or whatever for playing football? These people must think they've landed on a different planet. I used to love football. When I was a kid, I think it was the first element of my addictive tendencies, but up until the age of about 15, I'd say, I think football was my life, do you know what I mean? And some of the things I used to do, I remember being about 10, and I used to write like imaginary match reports about imaginary games. And I'd sit there all night doing it, you know, describing the goals and blah, blah, blah. I think I wanted to be I did want to be a journalist at one point, until journalists became generally cunts. But I think that was my first foray into journalism. And I was obviously ahead of my time because I was just making everything up, which is the sort of what they generally do these days. Another thing I used to do as well, which was a bit weird when I look back at it, I had the names of every football team in the country written down on a bit of paper, put them all in a hat, draw out like a cup draw, use a dice to determine, you know, how many goals each team scored, and obviously, you know, do that through to the final, and then see who won. That's one way of getting through an evening when you're 8. Do the same with cricket as well. There used to be this cricket dice game, but you could do the normal dice. The way I used to do it, if you roll a 5, it's a wicket. And if anything else, it just runs, you add them up. And I used to have like cricket games, and I'd have like a team of like, you know, my sort of World 11 cricketers, a lot of West Indians in it. So they dominated in the 70s or 80s, whenever it was, when I was a kid. So I'd have like, you know, Botham, Viv Richards, Michael Holding, Malcolm Marshall, Derek Randall, because he was a good fielder, you know. Not very relevant to the dice bit, but that's why he made the side. So I'd have one team of like sort of cricketers, and I'd have them playing against, like, the other team would be completely random, do you know what I mean? I'd have, like, fucking Father Christmas, Adolf Hitler, you know, anybody who sort of, I think the Yorkshire Ripper opened the bat in a few times. And I remember doing it. This is quite strange to remember this, because I must have been doing this till I was quite old, because I remember having, like, ex-girlfriends' mothers in some of the teams, do you know what I mean? That's strange. Or maybe I was playing against my son, actually. Maybe my son was born when I was doing that, because I definitely got a memory of Dorothy, who is two of my children's grandmother. Definitely got memories of her opening the batting once. I think with Pol Pot. I'm not sure who was the other opening batsman, but I remember Dorothy always used to open the batting for one of the sides. But yeah, that must have been after my son was born, because I don't imagine I'd be playing dice cricket on my own at the age of 28. But stranger things have happened, so don't quote me on that. I could well have. I've been investigating. I say investigating, what a strange word to use. I've been, looking into interviewing people for these lectures. I may have mentioned this last week. I'm never sure what I've mentioned in lectures or what I've just mentioned in my head. But what I want to do is interview sort of, people who are relevant to my home city, people I look up to, people I look down upon. And, to interview them. I've made tentative inquiries regarding speaking to Paul Durden, who I think he wrote Twin Town. And I think he's the self-appointed virtual mayor of Swansea. So I want to interview him, because he's obviously a very interesting character. And, I've sort of got his number now and everything through a mutual contact. And now it's been about 9 days and I haven't found him. I do have an issue with procrastination. This is why, as much as these lectures are lacking in quality sometimes, I feel, the fact that here we are on lecture 7 and I'm still doing it, I'm quite impressed with myself, just for actually doing it. I do feel it needs to start improving, though. I don't know, I don't put enough preparation in, The idea was, what I should be doing, I've got this, notebook, which I did intend carrying around with me at all times. And then if any interesting thoughts or things go on, just make a little note of it, with a view to having something to discuss in the lectures. But I always seem to forget to take my notebook out with me, which is a bit daft. Because, there's so much more I could be doing here. So much more I could be doing with these lectures. It's why I appreciate the people who do listen, especially the regulars. Because on some level you must like me. Because, in the style of Alex Hurricane Higgins, I am putting being myself on these lectures before being a success. So, I don't know. How do you assimilate 1,000 lonely people from scratch? It's not easy. It's really not easy. I've had an idea as well. It's either really good or really shit. We'll soon find out. But the idea is, when these lectures are on YouTube, as you can imagine, I think my producers started putting a few images on, etc., some random images. But what I want to do, when the lectures are on, that's blank screen is what they call in the trade screen real estate, okay? So each lecture, there's about 40 minutes of blank screen real estate. So I want to open up that space. If anybody wants, like, to put like a free advert on there, or, if you just want to put a message to one of your loved ones, or more, what I want to do is to have it like a notice board. So if you're selling your bike, you just send me a picture of your bike, or a set of drums, or whatever else you want to sell, and your contact details. And then when people are listening to the lectures, up on screen, it'll be, just a series of adverts of people, selling or swap. Remember Swap Shop? Some people remember Swap Shop back in the days. This kids' program used to be on Saturday morning. Noel Edmonds, I think. And there used to be a swap shop thing where something would come up on screen. It'd be like, Jeffrey from Leicester would like to swap Kaplunk for Monopoly. So as a way of uniting, the listeners together, you could all be sort of buying and selling off each other off the back of my screen real estate, or swapping with each other. If you got a charity, if you want to plug your charity, if you got something going on, as I say, get in touch, because there's a lot of screen real estate up for grabs. It's all going to be a free service, staying true to my, my essential nature of being a giver rather than a taker. Yeah, it'd be nice, that would, so you could listen to the lectures, because after about 5 minutes, people tend to stop actually listening. So, at least you could look at the screen and see if there's anything you can swap your settee for. Yeah, very interesting feature that's going to be. I bet we're all looking forward to that. We're all looking forward to that. So, yeah, as I say, get in touch. Use the comment section. I always read the comments. I should reply more, etc. But I love reading the comments. It gives me an idea of what people think. I think somebody said last week that was his favourite lecture. And, I'm like Higgins, you know what I mean? I just do these. I just think, I don't understand why anybody listens sometimes, to be honest with you. But the fact that some people do, and derive some sort of enjoyment out of it, or as one guy says, yeah, thanks for helping me get through work this morning. Appreciate that. It's all very interesting stuff. I need to start not so much putting more effort in, more thought into it. People have said to me, people whose opinions I value, yeah, maybe the lectures need more structure, a bit of structure. And I think, yeah, that's a good idea, because I do say to myself sometimes, all right, what am I going to talk about? Because I've usually got no idea. But I think, all right, then, well, obviously you've got to mention the swans and mention anything that's been going on. Use it as an opportunity to slag off people who've pissed you off in the past. Usually call centre related. But then when I start talking, I have absolutely fucking no idea what I'm on about, and I just ramble on for a while, so structure. And this is why I wanted to do the interviews with people, bring other people into it, because I am sick of my own voice, as I imagine a lot of you are. So it would be good, yeah, to bring people. But this is the problem. I only think about what I should be doing to improve these lectures when I'm actually recording them, I'll be recording it and I'll be thinking, right, yeah, yet again, I haven't done any preparation. I haven't done anything to give this any sort of structure. And this, it's going to be generally pointless again. My life is fairly straightforward at the moment, so You know, the only exciting, interesting things happen tend to be other things to do, you know, with my kids, which you probably wouldn't be interested in anyway. Or things I can't really talk about for one reason or another. So yeah, a bit of structure it needs, a bit of thought, Rich. Need to start putting a bit of thought in and start contacting these people for the interviews. Because I want to interview this Twin Town geezer, Paul Durden. Also want to interview Lee Trundle, Bonnie Tyler, Catherine Zeta-Jones, you know, all the Swansea, John Artson, all the sort of local heads, maybe even Shani off the wave, you know. Let's get to know the real Shani, innit? That would be nice to get to know the real Shani rather than the local radio DJ persona that she has to put out there, because she seems like a very lovely lady, actually. Yeah, and it may make these lectures a little bit more interesting, which it's becoming quite obvious to me, especially today, as absolutely vital.
Jewish Park, home of Yeovil Town Football Club. So as to deal with your call quickly and efficiently, a series of options follow. For the ticket office, press 1. For sales, advertising and the conference centre, press 2. And for all other inquiries, press 3. For the shop, press 1. For advertising and sponsorship, press 2. One moment, please.
Oh, hi, can I speak to somebody regarding advertising, please?
Yes, you're speaking to him, Dave Linney, commercial manager.
Hi, Dave, or Mr. Linney.
Yeah, no problem, Dave's fine.
Okay, my name's Griff Richards. I'm the CEO of Griff's Lonely Dollar Lectures. We're one of Europe's leading online lecturing services, basically. Now,
Online what, sorry?
lecturing, we do online lectures for students, and
Yes.
yeah, it's like an online lecturing service for students,
Right.
training sort of things as well.
Okay.
Do you currently have a shirt sponsor?
We do at the moment, which it runs out at the end of this current season coming up, yeah.
Right. So what sort of figures are we looking at if we were to do the shirts next season?
It's £60,000 we've been getting at this level we're in at the moment.
Right, because obviously you're looking very likely to go down this year. Is that going to drop?
We hope we don't go down.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I hope you don't either. But it is going to happen, and then let's be honest.
It could do slightly, but yeah, we're governed by the salary management cost protocol, whereby any money coming in, we can only spend so much of it on players, so we need to keep it as high as possible. But we know we're no fools that if you do drop, it does become more difficult. But we've got a good sponsor at the moment, and they have indicated to renew at this present time. So.
What, they're going to renew even if you get relegated?
Yes, because they're a local company, and
It's not going to reflect well on them, is it? No.
Oh yes, it will. Yeah, it will, because they've been with us for 4 or 5 years before that. So.
What company is that, if you don't mind me asking?
Jones Building Group.
Jonesy, I know him. Fair play, he's still doing it. So they've been doing the shirts for how long?
Well, they've been with us for about 12 years. They had a gap of not doing the shirts, but they're back with us again now.
Yeah. Right. Well, what about if we put something on the back of the shorts?
That's a possibility.
Yeah. Because my logo is just like a sort of how can I wish I should have emailed it to you. It's like a sort of if you can imagine a circle, okay?
Yes.
And then in the middle, there's just like a brown dot. And then in that dot, it says Lonely Dollar Lectures. So if we could have that logo smack bang in the centre on the reverse of your shorts, what sort of figures are we talking there?
We're talking about £7,500. We were getting £10,000 in League One, but that's not the case anymore. So
no, Bear with me, make a few notes. So we're talking 7.5. Is that for 12 months or for an actual season?
That's for well, it works for 12 months, but the season only runs from August through to May, so we don't play many games in between that. So it works out.
We'd be looking to get it on the kits before next season, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So if we look at the rest of this season and for next season, you'd probably be looking at £10,000 for the rest of this season. So yeah.
I'm with you. It could be worth doing now because you probably get a lot of publicity, especially if you do stay up last minute.
Yeah, well, that's what we're trying to do. I mean, it's a 3-horse race at the moment, and we've just taken on a new manager, Darren Way, and
yeah. Well, I'm from Swansea. I'm from Swansea originally, and he used to play for us for a while.
Yeah, good lad, Darren.
Yeah, no, I do wish him well. He's very popular down here.
Yeah, good.
If he tries as hard off the pitch as he tried on it, you're in with a shout.
Well, he has. I mean, he doesn't. I've known Darren since he was here very first time. Then he went to Swansea, of course, and he had his bad accident. And
oh, that's right. Yeah, he played for you, didn't he?
Come through that like he did. It was an amazing feat. So hopefully.
Played for you a few times.
Meyer as well.
Right. Now, just sorry to cut back to business.
No, that's okay.
What it is now, Lonely Dollar Lectures is the sort of sister company, if you like, okay? Now, the company who do the lectures, they're called Brown Hoop. So it would be their logo on the shorts. As I say, as long as it could be in the middle of the shorts, at the back, obviously, we don't want any sort of discrepancies.
Yeah, of course.
Right in the middle of the shorts, just a round circle, and then in the centre of the circle, just a big brown circle. Is that going to be all right?
Possibly. I mean.
And then maybe it'll say the brown hoops or something.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I think that the stipulation on back of shorts is either at the bottom of one of the legs or at the high end of the top of the shorts below the waistband.
Yeah.
That's a stipulation. So
right.
In certain areas, there's certain guidelines from the Football League, or the FA rather.
I would need it sort of rear and central. How large could it be? How large could this hoop be?
I'd have to have a look at my handbook. I haven't got it in front of me at the moment.
Yeah. You know, obviously, a lot of these hoops, they start one size and they can be sort of squeezed a little bit bigger, you know, but obviously you've got guidelines, haven't you?
Yeah, we have to. We have guidelines set out by the FA every year for what area you can use.
What about
the front and the back and the top as well.
What about hoop spillage? If there's any issues with hoop spillage on the printing?
Shouldn't think so.
Yeah. Because, you know, for our advertising to work, because obviously, you know, I know most players tuck their shirts into their shorts.
Yeah, that's right.
I know in the under-10s we had to, but we would need this. I don't know how to.
Well, if I go on the internet, what company would I'm just trying to get the gist of the logo. Where would I find it on Google?
Right, if you have a look at Brown Hoop, I think it's .cock, it's registered in the Cook Islands.
Is it .com?
.cock, C-O-C-K. It's in the Cook Islands, it's registered.
What, sorry?
C-O-C-K, Charlie Oscar, Charlie Kilo. The company's registered in the Cook Islands.
No, it doesn't come up with anything.
Are you spelling it normally? B-R-O-W-N, Brown Hoop?
H-O-O-P.
Yeah.
Dot C-O-C-K. Yeah?
Yeah. Hang on, I'm just checking something with somebody else. Bear with me. Stacey, is it registered under Brown Hoop? Can you check that? Sorry, bear with me. Can you check a different site, sorry?
Yeah.
Yep, it's called Rampant Skids.
Okay. Is it a wind-up by any chance, is it?
No, what it is, we've got 6 different companies all under the same umbrella.
Okay.
Rampant and then Skids with a Z on the end. S-K-I-D-Z. Jeff Hurdleplip.
Jeff what?
Hurdleplip.
Okay.
7, what do you say, 7,500? And that's for the full season, yeah, 12 months. Shorts, wasn't it? Right, have you managed to locate that brown hoop?
No. Nothing coming up.
Any joy with the rampant skids?
Nope.
Hang on a minute. Jeff, come here. Ah, sorry, no, it's under the brown button label. But it would, the actual logo will be brown hoop, but the website may be under the brown button.
No, nothing in there either.
Oh, for God's sake, I do apologise for this. I said this had happened when we had this amalgamation. Because you nickname the hoops?
No, we're not.
Oh, that's Plymouth, that is it?
No, that's Celtic, isn't it?
Oh, right. I thought there was somebody down your way as well. Maybe that's why I'm getting confused with the green and the kit, actually. Maybe that's why I'm making my mistake. All right. Bear with me then. Right, well, I'm going to go away and find out this information. But it's, just so we're clear, save me ringing around, there's no problem with us having a logo on the back of your shorts, in the centre, just a round circle with a big brown hoop, maybe slightly 3D scratch and sniff.
No problem at all, of course not.
That's great. All right, well, I'll get all this put into an email now.
Okay, I've got your number anyway, so...
All right, there we go, yeah. Will you give us a ring, and we'll get this taken care of, because I think we're looking at now, I didn't realise we could do it this season, to be honest with you, because I thought you may have been tied in till the end of the season.
No, we're not with the shorts, no.
Oh, that's brilliant. All right, well, I'll speak to one of the managers here and somebody who's got more information about the websites. We'll get the logo emailed across to you. And if you could find out from your handbook about sizes and locations, etc. And, we'll see if we can make all this fit.
No problem at all. Thanks for your call.
As you can imagine, in my line of work, everything has to be airtight.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Have a good day.
And what was your name again, sorry?
Jeff Hurdler-Plip.
Jeff what?
Hurdler-Plip.
Okay.
Jeff Hurdler-Plip.